So what's up, Verona? How you doing? How you feeling? It's January. It's 2026 now.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year indeed. How you feeling about it?
I'm feeling great. I mean, 2025 was amazing. So I think like stuff that I started, my students started working on in 2025, we're just going to continue on in 2026 and get the results and everything.
Hell yeah. Well, that's good. For me, and my inspiration my inspiration for this video, which is where we're going to share three, if we have time, three things each that we think a new vocalist, a singer should know about. My inspiration was that for me, 2025 was booty. I did not love it. I was glad it was over. Yeah, I'm glad it's over. So I was like, starting 2026 strong, what would a new singer want to do? And especially what would a new singer, like, let's say they're not taking vocal lessons, maybe they don't want to take vocal lessons. Some people just aren't interested in it, right? What are three things that I could...
They wouldn't be listening to our podcast if they're not.
Oh, sure they would. Sure they would, because this video is free. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But what sort of things could I tell them to give them a good, strong 2026? Because we're all hoping for a good 2026.
You want to start? Crossed. I have my three. Do you have yours?
Of course I got them.
Top three.
Yeah, I can start if you'd like. I was gonna throw the ball into your court, but
okay, I can.
Go ahead. Start it off.
All right. So the first thing I say to my students. And to anyone really who would like to up their game, in their vocal journey and as an artist, even emerging or intermediate or advanced, whatever, wherever your level is, okay, I don't mind. Have a concrete project. So I would say a recording project is easier. But okay, I'm going to give you a couple of examples depending, so it could be a small one, but it could take the whole year to get that first small one.
True.
Could be a 30-second reel on IG or YouTube Shorts, like a good recording of a chorus of a song, not the whole song. You could just focus on one part of a song, but you nail it, you record it, and then you film yourself and you're actually proud enough that you post it on your socials. Or if you don't have socials, you send it by email to your friends. Or you show it like that to your friends and family. Just like a concrete project. So that could be a small like that. Could be a full cover on YouTube. Like you record a full song. You maybe go in a studio if you don't have a home studio. You're like, okay, that date, I'm going to have an engineer recording me, and I'm gonna have a nice, beautiful recording of the cover I've been working on for a couple of weeks, months, and then with a little visual, it's fun. Doesn't matter. You could put also just a picture if you don't want. But yeah, a concrete project, that you could show. Could be also for some of my advanced students. It's get their first original song out on the platforms.
Hey, yeah, that's an ambitious one for sure. I
told you like beginners would be maybe a little short, a little,
Yeah.
Intermediate would be a cover on YouTube, but high quality, but like a cover, and then more professional, like emerging professionals would be a real song.
Yeah, I think the first benefit I think of when listening to that is that most people. At least in my experience, we teach different types of vocalists, but there is plenty of crossover. Most people want to learn to use their voice to create some sort of content. I mean, we live in a content is king kind of world right now, for better or for worse. And so I think it in a way, it kind of allows them to see if that's something they really want to do.
Exactly. So start by one.
Yeah, it's gonna be work. It's gonna be like if your goal is to create like a 30-second reel, and then you're like, dang, I hate creating reels. Well, we just saved you some time. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So you're like, okay, well, that would be my job. Okay, like some would say, oh, I need to have one per week, and then I want to be a content creator, like music content creator, and then you're like, oh my god, it took me like 20 hours for one 30-second reel. Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Next one might be 20 hours. And then the more you do, the faster you're going to get. But yeah, you have to start by one.
Yeah.
Mm.
What are, one of the things about my students is whenever I say like, hey, let's do this, they're always like, why though? So what are some of
Why? Like,
the,
why
yeah,
posting a cover or why?
yeah. Why not just, sing for the sake of singing? Who cares what you create? What's the benefit
Mm-hmm.
of having this concrete goal of creating something, whether it be small or large? What's
Yeah,
your
yeah. I
reason
have
for your students?
some of my students, they really don't care about social media. They don't want to post it. They don't want to show that they actually are really good singers.
Mm,
But so I tell them we're gonna finish, like we start a song, it's gonna finish with a recording, whether you like it or not. I don't care, it's gonna finish with a recording.
yeah.
And it's good for your archives, you know. Also, just like take it as a self-evaluation or do it with your teacher. Sometimes I record with my students in even online lessons. They're gonna open their DAW, they're gonna record, and I actually coach them while they record. So we make class out of it.
Sure.
If they're here, well, they record behind me in my vocal booth.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so for the archives, it's really good because sometimes they don't see the progress they made. You know, so that's my
Yeah.
recording from January 2026, and then they have another one in May 2026, and then another one in November. Then they were like, "Oh wow!" They listened back to the old ones. I have some students that have been with me for years, and sometimes they don't see the progress. And then just for fun, I'm like, "Let's listen to your recording from 2021." And they're like, "Oh my god!" So even if you don't plan on posting it for your archives, it's really good.
Sure. Yeah, and that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense too. I think,
Okay, what's your first point?
well, one thing I wanted to add, I got to delete my first point. I got to delete my first point. My first point was record yourself, but you basically just explained it all. So on to point number 2.
No, but but yours was not the same. I mean, I know because you sent me a little voice note yesterday. So that's why I said that one, but it's different from yours. Me, it's a concrete project.
Well,
I think it was more like when you practice, record yourself. Like have the habit of always recording yourself, right?
Yeah.
That's what I understood from yours.
Yeah. I'll save it for my point number 3 then, to add some contrastive conversation to it. I think actually there's one more thing I want to add to yours, because I think, I get a lot of students as well who's they're not really interested in creating anything. But sometimes the reason I push them to do it is because once they have done it, they're like, oh, this was tons of fun. Or like,
Exactly.
seeing myself in this light is inspiring. And, I don't necessarily always like push my students, but I will sometimes forcefully nudge them in a direction, because there are certain things you don't know if you don't try. And getting yourself to create that first 30-second clip of a song could be the spark that actually, 5 years down the road, now you've got, 20, 30, 50,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, right? So
crazy, yeah.
I think that is somewhat of our responsibility to try to inspire our students a little bit. You can only do so much, but so for me, I think
it's a demo. You can start with like, okay, have a couple of styles. Like you would be a couple of styles of screams, and me would be okay. Well, a rock song, then the R&B song, maybe then a jazz, like, and then you could have like a little demo of what you can do. Like and then also like, like some of my students, I kind of force them to do jazz. They're not interested in jazz. Like they love to shout and do rock and stuff, and I'm like, let's just do some jazz bit. And then they're like, wow, I love myself in jazz. Like, I love my tone. Then I'm like, well, apply the jazz tone everywhere.
Yeah. Use it everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah. So, like, have projects of like, for clean singing, that would be what I give my students sometimes different styles, so they kind of explore different techniques.
Sure. Yeah. I think that makes tons of sense. So I think I'll start with, for me, and this is a very big thing people get hung up on in the metal vocal world, especially the like extreme metal vocal world, which is essentially trying to name what they're doing. And so for me, if I was to make it a concise, like, here's my point number 2, I'd say value sensation and control over the minutia. And I'll give you an example.
Minutia, what is that?
Yeah, the finer details, the small points, right?
Okay.
So one thing that I think is really important is understanding how our voice works, understanding how distortion is made, and understanding, as much as we can, the physical and airflow dynamics of it. But at the same time, that's not how we generally relate to our voice. When I'm singing, I'm not like, and I'm singing with twang, right? I'm not thinking to myself like, dang, that narrowing of the laryngeal funnel it's not what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the way my voice feels in the front of my face, right? Okay. I'm thinking about the way my voice is brightened. And so this happens a lot with compressed screaming styles. It happens with every screaming style, but it happens a lot with screaming styles. And I'm getting over COVID, so I don't know how this is going to sound. But like, for example, let's say we have a student that's using like a lot of epiglottis in their scream, a lot of like, and we start narrowing it just for fun. And it goes from to, that sounds terrible after all the coughing I've been doing, but whoo, that's a COVID growl right there. But let's say,
you feel it's inflamed, like there's inflammation probably?
Yeah, I think everything's still just a little puffy from coughing all night. And so it's just not connecting. So I'm not going to push on it any harder. But essentially what will very often happen, I have a student right now. I just literally had this conversation with it would have been last week. But because it sounded and felt slightly different, they became so distracted with, well, is this a new technique? Well, what would we call it? Well, what's the definition of it? And then so what happens is, and this is where I as a vocal coach have to be like, nope, we're staying on track, is you've talked about vocals for 40 minutes, but you haven't done anything. And so this is a place where a lot of people, especially in the metal vocal world, will sometimes, like, they get so hung up on the taxonomy that they can't make any progress. So if you are practicing your vocals and you find yourself in a situation where you're trying to learn a false chord growl, but it feels a little bit different, that's an important thing. But in that moment, does it feel good? Does it sound good? Maybe just go with the flow for a little while. See what your voice is trying to tell you, and worry about the finer, deeper definitions at another time. That's one of the big things. Over academicizing.
And also, like, some people, they don't have the nerves at the same place. Like, you might feel your twang here. I don't feel it here. I feel it backwards. Yeah. Like, and from the outside perspective, it's going to sound pretty much like as twangy. You know what I mean? So sometimes, just, I get what you mean. Like, assess what you're feeling. And if your teacher says, yeah, that's good. Are you comfortable? Check. Okay, great. That's the tone we want. Check. And then I say screenshot your feelings and your sensations. Because, okay, we're there. Take a screenshot and remember it. Like, tomorrow, you're going to have to go back to that sensation. It's different from me. Like, we don't have the same body. We don't have exactly like same as many nerves, like sensors here and there. Like, I cannot, like, how you feel it might not be how I feel it. And so I say that screenshot.
Yeah. I like that. Take a screenshot of this moment. I think that's pretty good.
And then I ask them, tell me how you feel it, not how I feel it. You feel it, and then we take notes. And then, like, oh, I feel it. And sometimes it's weird descriptions. I was like, sure. Yeah. I don't care. Like, I don't judge. It's like, if it makes sense for you, makes sense for me. But basically, I often understand what they're saying. It's just like, I like to have their words, because that's,
Yeah. And that's,
get you.
That's one of my biggest tools. Any of my students watching this video they could attest to the fact that, like, 20 to 30 times in a lesson, I'm going to be like, okay, what did that feel like? What was the sensation? Right. Let's pair. That was an amazing sound we just got. Let's pair that with how you felt it. And unless they tell me something that's like horrible, like, oh, I felt like I was smacking my vocal cords together and ripping them in half, right? Unless they tell
and
me,
it hurt, and I'm gonna cough, and I'm gonna lose my
yeah,
voice in 5 seconds.
exactly. Unless they tell me something crazy, I'm just going to kind of follow what they say. And there have been times where students say, oh, I feel it like up in the center of my mouth. And I'll think to myself, like, that is absolutely not where I feel it. But the sounds we're making are identical. They're super comfortable. The student is articulating, not running out of airflow.
Exactly.
Let's rock with it.
There you go.
Let's rock with it. Right. So that's my point number 2. That's my point number 2.
So, but now number 2 is number 1. Is that it?
Yeah, I misspoke because I'm changing the order of mine. That's my point number 1. You know, I'm going to rearrange how I have them written over here so I don't mess this up. All right.
I'm so sorry. I really thought number 1 was another type of recording.
It doesn't matter, Veronna. It doesn't matter.
Just means like we both think you should record yourself.
And nobody does. But what?
No.
What's
and
your
now
other?
Equipment is so cheap. Like you literally, if you have a powerful computer, there's no excuse. Like
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I mean, I can pull another one out.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
What was my second?
Yeah,
Don't
what was your
die on
second?
me, please.
I might. I'm just trying to get out of work. You know what I'm saying?
Time of death.
Trying to
ask
my
podcast.
Yeah, trying to ask my boss if I can have the day off.
Ask your boss.
Yeah, I know.
Who's the boss? The wife?
No, it's me, and I already told myself no. Mark, can I have the rest of the day off? No.
Okay.
You can't.
No.
Yeah. What's your next one?
Okay, so prep to perform in an in-person event. Could be. So if we start beginner, could be just a little karaoke bar in your neighborhood, but you actually prepare your song. You don't do like all the other drunks out there. You actually prepare and you nail it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no stress because most of people out there on karaoke, they're not good, or sometimes they're really good. Depends what karaoke bar. But yeah, so you prepare and you go perform in person, but you like really set the date. You invite friends. You invite like little concert for free, karaoke bar, an open mic also for my songwriters. Like prep a song that you wrote. Usually it's original songs and open mics, but I think you can also perform a cover. They're not gonna say no, but it's open mics. It's more people listen. Like it's not like karaoke. They're gonna talk and be a little drunk, but like in an open mic, usually people are really attentive, and it's very a safe space to practice. And also like a concert, like really book a concert. I organize concerts for my in-person students in Montreal. If you're not in Montreal and you're my student and you would like to participate in my next concert, just let me know. You could make a trip out of it. That could be fun.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a couple of my Cardivox students. I think a couple would like to make a trip out of it. Yeah. So each time I organize a student concert, oh my God, it's the month in the year that I see the most progress of the whole year. Like they actually practice every day. Because there's a deadline.
Yeah.
You know, and I make them pay to participate. So there's a fee. And so they're like, hey, I paid. I'm going to participate. I don't do it for free. Not because I want the money. It's because if I do it for free, everybody's going to bail on me last minute.
Yep.
And I'm not going to be able to pay my venue.
They absolutely will.
Oh, yeah. I was early years as a coach. I was not charging for concerts. Then I was working. And then, half of my students just bailed. I was like, okay, well, now you're going to pay. So they don't bail anymore. And that's the moment, like the 2 months before the concert, that's where I see all of the progress of the year. It's crazy.
You know,
so in-person events.
They're killer. They're amazing. And this is that I think is incredible advice that I never give my students because of the nature of what I teach, you know.
So we should do a Cardivox event. Phoenix. Let's rent a venue. I'm going to go. I'm going to come.
That would be awesome. And maybe we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in 2026.
Comment below if you would like to participate.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
It would be cool. It'd be awesome. But
I
think
could perform.
You're mentioning a couple things that for me are difficult as an extreme metal vocal coach.
Mm-hmm.
If you have, for a lot of my students, it can be a little difficult to light a fire under their ass, basically, because they're not in a band. It's tough to get in like like a deathcore death metal band, especially when you live in a small town, right?
Yeah.
Or any
But
band where you can
karaoke
use your screaming. You know what I mean?
But karaoke bars exist everywhere, I think.
They do exist everywhere, but if you go and you pick Lamb of God Laid to Rest, or if they have Suicide Silence on the karaoke machine, which some do, you have an added layer of anxiety, which is that I'm going to be the guy, depending on this audience, who is ruining everybody's evening for 5 minutes. Like,
oh my God. In Montreal, the person who would scream would be the star of the evening.
Well, then in Montreal, you should do it. But generally speaking, when I have spoken with that to my students, they're like, not everybody's like there for that. You know what I mean? And to my knowledge, there aren't really metal vocal open nights. But you're right. I have been to open mic nights, and they're like very respectful. I remember going to
really respectful.
Yeah, I've been to. It's been a long time since I've been to one, but I used to go to them with my parents, actually. And my parents, they did like this little Christian folk music thing for a little while.
Wow.
And just like playing house shows around the city. And
house shows, that's something we don't have here.
Yeah,
in the States. It's amazing.
I remember thinking to myself, like, this open mic night, the crowd is better than any live show I've ever been to in my life.
Right? Yeah.
But if you are a harsh metal vocalist, this is all I really have to add at the end, and then I'll be done. But and you're listening to this, Verona's advice is very good. And this is, if you have this kind of environment, this kind of community near you, if you can be prepping for something, especially if there's like an entry fee to give you some investment, like it really will make a huge difference, because nobody wants to go up there and mess up. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's crazy. Like, my students, like, sometimes they're super beginner, and I tell them, okay, this concert is in 6 months. We have that amount of spots, and they sell out like really fast. I'm like, my beginner students are like, you know what? We have one life to live. Let's just go for it. I might die. It's okay. I'm like, you're like, that's it. That's the spirit, and just go for it. And in those 6 months, like, they might have taken 6 months before. They don't really practice. They have like no motivations. It's really like having a goal, like in life. That's also like, but yeah, having a goal. Wow, the shift in attitude is huge.
It is huge.
It's huge.
It's absolutely
and they become
huge.
another person. Like, I have one girl. She sings really, really soft, and she's super shy. And like, she works in video games, and sometimes she has like meetings and stuff. And she was telling me, like, I'm not able to speak in meetings. Like, I'm too shy. And then after the first concert she did, she had a meeting at her job, and it's like, Verona, it's the first time I was able to share my ideas at my job.
Hey,
You
well,
see?
confidence boost. Yeah,
exactly. So that even if she was not 100% happy with her performance, but she was happy that she did it, alone with a mic on the stage. It was like, oh my God, because this is so much harder than real life speaking in a meeting, like being on stage with a mic with no one else, because there was no bands. It's just a karaoke track. Okay, no budget for a band.
Sure.
Sorry. Next concert maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
So then in real life, interactions are, yes, you're gonna be shy, but it's you've done the worst thing the hardest thing you could have done was the show. So everything else seems easy.
Yeah, and it'll make all the subsequent performances theoretically easier too, because you're like, I've done it already.
It does. She did 3 concerts now, like that same students, and she always like, yep. I'm like, I'm still shy, but I'm gonna do it, and like, I see it. Yeah, it's very fun. It's very fulfilling as a coach to see that evolution too.
Yeah, good for her. So we got
What's your second?
Yeah, we got about 20 minutes left, so we'll each do one more depending on how long this takes.
Okay, I will
will wrap it up with record yourself. I'll wrap it. My other one, maybe a preview if people enjoy this and they want us to do another one. My other one was don't confuse normal with correct. And bonus, view your progress non-linearly. But because we've alluded to it so many times, I think I'm going to focus on recording yourself, because really it's hard to find a way that it won't benefit you. And so there's a lot of places to start talking about this topic. And I think the most important way to talk about this topic is, or one of the most important benefits is the ability to self-assess. Mm-hmm. Even if you're taking like weekly vocal lessons, which I don't give. I do. Veronna does. Most of your time with your voice is spent away from your vocal coach, right? And most of your mistakes that you're going to make are going to be frustrating to you in the moment. They shouldn't be, but they are going to be. And you know, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I never care when I mess up. Of course I do. But if you can record yourself, and even if, you know, you don't have to, like you said, Veronna, it is quite easy to get a pretty decent home recording setup for like less than $150, but that can be out of budget too. You can go and you can get yourself, you just use your cell phone, just record your practice sessions on your cell phone. It's better than nothing.
Voice memo. Perfect.
Voice memos. Exactly. And the reason for this is because you can hear what you like, and you can also hear your mistakes after you've had some time to cool down, right? And you can talk to yourself in those voice memos. You can, you know, go to hit that clean note, you know, okay, my voice cracked. That's embarrassing. You're still recording, by the way, while you're saying this. My voice cracked. That's embarrassing. I realized that I didn't really take much of an inhale at all, and my throat was really tense. So just going to remember that for next time. Snapshot, screenshot, right? And then when you go back and you listened and you don't have that secondhand embarrassment, which you shouldn't, or I guess it's firsthand embarrassment, you can evaluate those things and you can remind yourself. Or let's say you go to hit that high note and it's superb. You just hit this voice in your head, this note in your head voice, or this high scream easier than you ever have. In that moment, while you're recording, you can say, whoa, I just hit this big, powerful head voice note, and it's the first time I never felt any strain in my throat. And here's what I was doing in that moment. So, or with a high scream, like, whoa, that high scream was crazy high. And I felt all the closure up in the back of my mouth, and, you know, no squeeze and tension in my actual vocal cord space. Hell yeah.
And when do you re-listen? Do you re-listen right away after explaining, or do you wait? And
me personally, it's been a long time since I recorded myself, because it's hard.
What I say, not what I do.
Well, it's let me tell you, it's hard to find time to practice when you're helping everybody. When you're cooking for everybody else, you're eating a bag of Cheetos while you're making everybody else beef Wellington. You know what I'm saying? But for me personally, I would always give it like a day or two. I would always come back to it later, just because my mental, by the time I was done practicing, my mental load was capped. There are a lot of other really good benefits to recording yourself, but I kind of want to hear from you, because I think that this is something that is, you know, some of what we teach is so different. It's like we're speaking like different languages, but I think this is something that really has benefits across the aisle. So when you talk with your students about recording or anything like that, like, what do you have? What do you think? What do you have to add? I guess a lot.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You have no excuse. Like, we all have a phone, so you can record yourself. And when I practice, I record myself, not necessarily my exercises, like my warm-ups. I know where to place my voice. It's fine. But when I practice a new song, let's say, I'm going to record myself, sing it, and then I auto-coach myself. So I listen back. So I listen back, and then I'm like, okay, that was good. Oh, I tensed there. Okay. And then I redo it. And then, so that's how I would do it. But that's a good thing that you actually also added some comments at the end. I don't do that. I'm going to try that. I
Yeah.
like it.
For me, that
Like,
was,
oh,
yeah. For me, it was huge in learning all the like
okay.
crazy, like wild sounds, because I was going to
Yeah.
forget. And I guess I will say I do still record myself on my phone. What I'll do is I'll just hit record and like set it on the passenger seat because I'm driving.
Oh, okay.
But I usually only do that when I'm trying like playing around with new sounds or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, you know, one other thing, and I'm sure this is a request you get a lot as well, is, I want to find my own voice. I want to build my own sound.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And it's like, how are you going to do that if you don't know what you sound like? You know what I'm saying?
I have a couple of answers for you, but do you want to answer first?
No, this is still talking about recording yourself. Like if you want to build,
yourself?
Yeah, if you want to build your own unique voice, you have to record yourself and you have to listen to it. Because
I would also say try different styles.
Yeah, true.
Sometimes it's not the style that you like to listen to that you're going to be the best to be a singer.
Factual. Yeah.
And that's sometimes sad. Like the singer that I told you, like she loved to sing like Paramore, high belt rock. Yeah, she can do it. But then I said, let's do some jazz. And then she was like, she did both songs at the concerts and everybody was like, their jaw on the floor in the jazz song.
Sure.
And she was like, what? I can impress people with that, but it's so... And then she was like, yeah, but jazz is so easy. And I was like, oh, yeah, for you. It's like... Because that was natural for you. And she was not listening to jazz at all.
Sure.
She was like, So now we're like pivoting maybe like some Billie Eilish, because Billie Eilish, like her vocal technique is really jazz, but she sings like pop and a little darker stuff, but anyways. So I would say to find your voice, you need to explore a couple of styles. That would be my first trick. And second trick, that's more advanced, but I personally found my signature style when I wrote my first album. Writing an album, like you have no one to compare you to, so you actually really sing from the heart, you sing from the soul, with like topics that really like resonate with you because you're writing your lyrics most of the time. So yeah, writing an album, that would be the second step. That's
a huge one too. With our last 10 minutes, what's your last thing?
My third one, yeah. Let's say I wrote it down. So okay, so we have recording a project and then performing a live in-person event. Oh yeah, so my last point would be have a musical project with at least one other person. So it could be a vocal duet. For example, my students, I would match them and they would do like the harmonies for the song of one and the other one would be the back vocalist for the other, you know, or a duet or something. Work with a musician as well. So maybe find a pianist, a guitar player, make a song with someone else, you know, not just a karaoke track on YouTube, but actually work with a human being, not AI. So, and then work, or it could be a songwriter, you know, like, I don't know, maybe your stepdad has nice poems and you don't like to write poetry and he has songs, but he doesn't sing them. So maybe, okay, write with a songwriter and make something out of it, or a producer who does beats and you could put some vocals on. So just having a project with someone else is really fun.
Yeah.
Like, and because sometimes we're so much in our heads and like, it can be a little, you know, we can feel a little bit alone with our art and like we kind of become obsessed and it's just, you're always alone. So opening your horizons with another artist, I would say. Yeah, and my third goal.
And building on that, you know, it's you mentioned AI and yeah, don't do that. Anybody watching, don't use AI to write your music, please. Or if you do,
they steal our ideas, so don't give them anything to fuel on.
And if you're watching, if you do, don't tell us you do. But the main thing I'm trying to get at here is that another human is going to challenge you.
Exactly.
AI is not going to challenge you. AI, you type in your prompt and it's going to be like, oh, wow, you're so amazing for thinking of that. You are so smart. Aren't you the best person in the world? Here, you know what I mean? Whereas another human's going to say, hey, we can now, if you've got somebody good to work with, they won't be a total ass about it, but they might essentially tell you like, hey, that idea that you think is original, here are 10 million other songs where people have done that. So maybe we want to explore something different. Right.
Yeah.
And it's really important as a creative to have those people in your life who are willing to constructively guide you away or help you see when your ideas suck. That's really how you grow. And AI is never going to do that for you. So I totally agree. Right. With a human, even if it's just you and a guitarist for now or whatever. I agree 100%. Yeah.
And it's funny because sometimes, you work with the musicians and they don't know any vocal terms. And they're like, oh, could you be like more and like more from the chest? And I'm like, huh? Okay, he wants or like from your belly. I'm like, from my belly, my vocal cords are here. What do you mean?
Yeah,
like they're gonna mix you up. They're like, what does he want? And then you just notice he wants chest voice with twang in it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's what you wanted. Okay.
Yeah, I think
so. It's gonna make you more aware of like what people get from your vocal techniques. That you think it sounds a certain way, but then other people will say, oh, that sounds really, I don't know, like. Could be, you sound really, I don't know, really sure of yourself in that way. And that one, you sound a little bit shaky and stuff. So, yeah, you're going to get feedbacks.
And you're right. I think one of the, it was really funny. And I was like, what the heck are you talking about? But then it actually helped, it helped me because the more ways you have to describe things, generally the better you understand it. But I remember, this was a while ago, I was recording with Nico, the guitarist in Kardashev, and he's like, hey, that really like high belt that you did. I was like, yeah, like it was like a G sharp or something, like an A or something. It was pretty high up there for me anyway. He's like, can you do that like more like down in your chest voice? And I was like, so you want like a lower note? And he's like, no, I want that same note, but I want like a chest voice note. And I was like,
that was chest voice.
I was like, what are you talking? And then I realized, I was like, okay, Mark, he's saying he just wants it to be like have more bravado in it. He's saying he wants it to be more powerful. And I was like, okay, what you're saying does not make sense, but I know what you want. And so let's try it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I know what you want. And so, those moments where you have to like bridge the communication gap are really good for growth too, even though in the moment you could be like, the hell are you talking about? That's basically it. Yeah. We
so what
had
was your
more.
Third?
So my third was the don't confuse normal with correct, and then view.
Okay, let's quickly say it.
Okay, I got 5 minutes till my lesson, but here we go. Essentially as a voice coach, I'm sure you get this all the time. People will make little mistakes, or they'll have little moments of discomfort, and they say, "Is that normal?" And it's like, well, yeah, it's normal, but it's not where we want to stop. It's normal that when you're learning to play guitar, your hand gets tired quickly. And what they're actually thinking internally is what they're actually asking is it okay that it was uncomfortable? And even then you're like, well, it's okay for like this moment. Right. So if you are assessing yourself as a vocalist, view your progress as non-linear, right? If you have a little tickle or you do something that makes you cough, it does not mean you have to stop everything and go back to point A, right? It just means you need to, in that moment, observe it, pay attention to it, see what it means. And if you need help, reach out to a coach to help you get around it. But I've never taught myself a metal vocal before that I didn't do with a good amount of discomfort at some point, right? But I also never stayed there. So when you do something, when you sing that high note and your throat goes, and you're like, ooh, that was really pinchy. Don't get too hung up on it. Yes, it's normal. No, it's not correct. Reassess and move forward. That's the short version. Exactly. Yeah, that's the short version. And what was your?
Yeah, it's gonna happen for sure. It's gonna happen. But I say no, categoric. Like I'm like, is it normal? No. I just remove any like.
See,
I don't care.
I
No.
tried doing that for a while, and then my students thought there was something like deeply wrong with them. They were like, "Why am I making
yeah,
all
for
these?
real?
Why am I? Yeah, because they're like, I'm making all these mistakes that aren't normal." And I was like, "Okay, hold on, no, we can't."
But the thing is, it happens for most of my students during the class, and they tell me right away, or I tell them, "Oh, that was like you felt that, huh? I could like, I'm pretty sure you felt like, oh, they're like, yeah, I felt it. Like, okay, well, that means blah blah, and then we don't want blah blah. So if it happens at home, do this,
Mhm.
and then we're done. But yeah,
We're done.
So it should be. I say vocal cords should be at the spa.
Yeah,
Soft, comfort, no tension here.
and
But
once
yeah,
you
for this for the
once you
scream,
na-
I think it's a little touchy.
Oh no, I mean even when you're doing crazy stuff, right? Even if you're gonna
Yeah.
do something like, like you're gonna feel a ton of vibration, but it should feel, calm and
know.
comfortable. Anyway,
There we go. All right, I'll let you go.
it's
was a good point.
it's Ryan, our shared student. So
Hey.
if I'm
Have a
late,
good
I'm gonna blame
class.
it on you. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, sure. Blame it on me. I don't
But
care. Hey, that was a good one.
yeah,
Good,
thank
the
you for
first of the year.
thank you for making time for it. Thank you all for watching it, and that's all we got. I'm gonna stop recording.
Yeah. And,
I almost didn't
go
say
on our
my thing.
websites
Yeah,
if you want lessons. I
Yeah.
have spots. I
We
don't
do.
know about you, but I do.
I don't. But I got nothing. Anyways, I got many thanks. Much love. I'm out.